All right, so for chapter 19, well, I looked at us, we're getting there really quickly here. For chapter 19, you learned all about the perfect passive system. So we know already the perfect active system. I went, I did. Now we have the perfect active. It has been done. It was done. That now, at this point, you should have, for your first and second conjugation verbs at least, all of the 6 tenses introduced to you, and hopefully you'll get them under your belt soon, if not already. Then additionally, we learned about the interrogative adjective, so that's qui, quod, quod. They look exactly like relative pronouns, except they function differently. So with these, we are asking questions. We are asking who, or we are asking what in the sentence. So aside from that, they'll look exactly like relative pronouns, so you'll have to work out either by a question mark given to you or the role in the sentence, what exactly it is. So starting with number 4. Starting with number 4, we have, go ahead and bracket off this relative clause. Worry about that later. We have legent, cross. Start of the sentence, we have femini, we have libros. I'll go ahead and do this, but explain why in a second. And that's it. We'll get to the relative phrase. So femini, I, first declension, noun. Nominative plural, or genitive or dative singular. So let's move on to the verb now. So the verb is legent. It comes from ledo, legere. So we do need to exercise some caution here. So ledo, legere, it is, it means to read. However, it is a third conjugation verb. And interestingly enough, in present, it is legit with an I. I-T. Legiz. You read, like that. So, third conjugation we need to look out for, because on the verb chart, if we're adding an ENT, that's different than adding an NT. So on the verb chart in the bottom left here, you should see adding an ENT to a third conjugation verb puts you in the future tense, not in the present tense. Right. So adding that ENT puts us in the future tense. So writing this out, we are active voice, future tense, third person, plural. And that's everything. So they will. Okay. So we have cross, modifying legend as an adverb. So tomorrow they will. Who is the they? Well, let's keep going. Libros. Only one option from liber, libri, second declension, masculine, accusative singular, or accusative plural. Difficiles, third declension, adjective. So es on the end here gives us either nominative plural or accusative plural. We're next to an accusative plural. And that's it. So, writing this out, I think we're going to pick up our subject as femini, taking the nominative plural, since we have a plural verb, and it's at the start of the sentence. So, the women what are they doing? They will read active tomorrow. What? The libros difficiles, the okay. So now we're to a relative pronoun. So quos is a relative pronoun. Like my rule of thumb, the os there is a plural ending. You can reference your chart. I'll pull it up here. But quos will get you a plural, masculine, or neuter accusative. I believe. Masculine or neuter. Might just be masculine, actually. Quos, yeah. Quos just gets you masculine plural neuter. Or masculine plural accusative. So we know that it's accusative, so it's the object of the relative clause. What does it refer to? Well, we know it has to refer to something that's plural, something that's masculine. It's not feminine. The only other noun is libros, so it has to be libros, which is plural masculine. So we're talking about the books which mesisti. That is a verb. I won't circle it just because we're a little busy here. But it's a verb. Mesisti. There's a mito, matere, mizi. Yep. Mises. So what have we taken? We have taken the third part, dropped the I, and added isti. So nothing new here. We are in the perfect system. Perfect. Active. Not third person. Second person. And are we singular or plural? Singular. Which you, singular, have sent. Or you sent. Earlier, at some earlier point in time. Okay, so for number 7. Wow, lots of stuff going on here. I'll start with our prepositions. Not them out of the sentence. Conjunction. Nouns. Where's our verb? Well, our verb is a little hidden here. You might be tempted to take erunt as a linking verb all the way at the end there, right? It looks like a linking verb. But from this chapter, we've learned about the perfect passive system. That's where we take the fourth part with some modifications for gender and case, and we add a form of sum to it. So it's 2 words and 1 verb. So hopefully that's not too hard to internalize. This is 2 words as 1 verb. Okay. So back to the start. We don't need our prepositional phrases, right? They're extraneous information. So pueri, there's some puer. It's at the start of the sentence. Second declension. Actually, let's do our verb first. Laudatai comes from laudo, laudare, laudavi, laudatus. So you can see we've taken laudatus and we've changed it to AE as an ending. So what does that mean? That means that we know from erunt, right? We know from erunt what? Pulling up our verb chart. If you go to the very bottom right, you can see that it's the ending on the fourth part plus a form of sum. The form of sum which we have is erunt. So very bottom right, you'll see that this is a future perfect of some sort. So we know now that this is passive, future perfect, third person, plural. We do know all that about it. The question here is, the question here is, why do we have AE? Well, the AE is referencing one of our subjects. Which one does it look like? Our subjects here are either pueri or puelli. Those are the only nouns that we have. It looks like puelli. And that is what it's referencing off of. So we know that laudatai has a nominative, or, well, yeah, it's either, we know that it's plural feminine. From our subjects are things in nominative, which our verb is referencing off of. We have a nominative plural here, and a masculine, and a nominative plural feminine here. And I'm gonna make a distinction here. I don't agree with this. Just generally, when you're talking about groups, if it's includes two different genders in Latin, you override with the masculine ending. But for here, it seems like they've chosen the feminine ending. It's fine. I think it might be because it's nearer, it's closer to the puellae, just physically in the sentence. But I think typically you would see this with a laudati with an I around, since we're talking about a group that includes boys and girls. So, but just a distinction there. So if you saw laudati here, I guess it would also be correct. So what do we have? We have pueri et puellae, the boys and the girls. What were they doing? Well, they weren't doing anything. They were being done onto, right? Something happened to them. Future perfect, we say will have, right? And since we are passive, we say been. Will have been. And what does laudo mean? It means to praise. So praised. Okay. So it means praised, right? Praised quoque, praised also. Oh, I don't know why that happened. Praised also. And why? Okay. So there's two questions here. Why are they being praised, and by whom are they being praised? So we can probably answer the by whom easiest because we have a in the sentence, a with the macron. It's a preposition which takes the ablative. We've seen it before in the last couple of chapters as indications of the ablative of agent, which occurs very often after passive verbs. We have a passive verb and an a. I think it's a clue that this is going to be an ablative of agent of some sort. So we have a matribus. So it comes from mater, matris, third declension. So matribus could either be taken as a dative plural or an ablative plural. It's next to a in the preposition, ablative plural. The other thing is we have patribusque. So que is like et. So we put the et before patribus, so et patribus. So guess what? It's not just the mothers, but the fathers too. My, like there, or the. I'm gonna make it shorter. And then the other question that we kind of have in our brain here is why. We could end it here, but that's fine. So propter is a preposition which takes the accusative. It takes the accusative. It takes the accusative, and it means because of. So what do we have here? We have fata bona. So a fatum, a fact, almost, is something neuter. Fatum, fati, neuter, second declension, is something that was done, or a deed. And what type of deed was it? It was a bona deed. So this, being neuter, could be accusative or nominative plural by the ending, since we're next to the propta, and we know our subject is pueri et puellae. It's accusative plural, neuter. Same deal with bona. So because of the good deeds, the good actions, the good deeds. Okay. So number 8 here, number 8. So cur is an interrogative. Cur means why. Right, so cur means why. And I seem to have forgotten my question mark here. That's why I was a little stumbling over interrogative. Cur means why. But aside from that, we translate it similar to other sentences. We just add the why. So timebant is our main verb. We have this relative clause going on here. So veritatem sorry. Well, we have isti, pronoun, veritatem, noun. Here is the interrogative, right? It means why. So we're asking the question why, so we can start out with that. Why? And then isti, from the iste chart, iste stud, you can see there that isti, it could be dative singular or it could be nominative plural. We have a verb here, just judging here from time. We've seen this one a lot, time bond. I have a verb here that is plural. I'll do it. I'll do the here now, but second part, drop the re, add bant, so it's imperfect, active, third person, plural. So why are they? Why were they? The question is who is they? And we don't really have a noun that is going to answer that directly, but we have isti, which means, right, they themselves. Or, well, isti is demonstrative of those people. So this is not themselves, but this is a nominative plural, masculine. So why were they fearing? Being afraid of? Fearing what? The veritatem. That's an accusative singular. From veritas, veritatis, third declension. Accusative singular. That puts us down here in the accusative case. So it puts us down here as the direct object. Fearing the truth. Okay, so that's the first half, right? So now we have the second half. Now we need to identify the verb. I see errant, so that could be a linking verb, but looking into it a little harder, it's actually a perfect passive. Well, it's not perfect passive, but it's a passive verb. It's a passive verb. So coming to our verb chart again, we're looking for errant in our form assume, right? You can see in the pluperfect tense on the far right middle side that errant is used as the form assume. So we have adiuti, errant. So this is passive, is pluperfect. So we're using had been, third person plural. The question is who we're referring to. We need an ending that matches, something that's either neuter, masculine, or feminine, and in the right number. So our number here is clearly masculine plural. So we're looking for a masculine plural subject in the sentence. I see multi here. Multi is an adjective, but I don't see any other nouns on which it can modify, so I think it's a good assumption with multi being nominative plural, masculine. Multi is our subject. So we're saying many had been helped, right? That's what adiuti means from, I think I've given that to you, hopefully. Adiuvo, adiuvare, adiuvi, adiutis. It means to help or to aid. So without the qua here, it would be many people had been helped. Many had been helped. So qua is a relative pronoun. It is qua get you into the relative pronoun chart. It is an ablative. So qua. Let's see if I can pick it out here. So qua. There's only one option there because quo is ablative for neuter. So qua means it has to be ablative feminine singular. What is feminine and singular in the prior part of the sentence? Now I'm helping you out here by writing it now. But it's veritatem. That's the only thing that's feminine, singular. So we're saying the truth, ablative, so we imply by, so not for or to or of for other cases. We say by which, and then like I said earlier, we translate this, many had been helped in the past, right? Had been helped. Aided helps. Okay. Last one here. We have this sentence here. I think I may have forgotten another question mark, but 11. I forgot 2 question marks, actually. It's not a comma. Yep. Actually, I think, let me see. Chapter 20, or chapter 19. Okay. Let's see. Chapter 19, number 11. Nope, it's just 1 question mark at the end. That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. 1 question mark at the end. So, we can see here that we have an interrogative, right? Why? Starting around our sentence. We also have a why in the second half. So, why from the interrogative or from the relative pronoun chart, because they look just like relative pronouns. Why could be nominative plural, and that could be either feminine or nominative plural feminine or nominative plural neuter. It could be also nominative singular feminine. So there's a couple options. We won't pick one out yet. Stapping this sentence then. I won't do the relative pronouns. This is all interrogative, but okay. So we have an interrogative. We're asking what, right? We're asking what or who. So in this sentence, it could be what or who. So from the verb dilettante, it comes from diletto, dilettare. So drop the re, add the nt. Since it's first conjugation, nothing to worry about there. This is just present, plural, third person, active. So that means they, right? We're looking for the they. Studia gravia is the next part of this sentence. Studia gravia, studies, right? Studium, studii, that is second declension, neuter. Studia, 2 options. Nominative plural, accusative plural. Gravia means heavy or serious, important. Say serious, it's probably a good one. Te, we know, can be accusative or ablative. And that's it. So let's just say without the qui, we would say the only thing here that could be nominative is the studia, so we'll take that as our nominative. So just, the or serious studies, I won't capitalize it because we'll have to include the qui, but serious studies without the qui are always diletto, which means to please, to delight. And the only object we can take here is the te. There's no and there's no passive, so there's no indication this is an ablative. So now the question is how does qui fit in this? Well, it has to agree with a noun since it's an interrogative. So we have a nominative plural neuter right next to it. Qui can be a nominative plural neuter. from the relative pronoun chart. So that's exactly what it is. We're asking what studies, which studies. Same question, what, which here, but however you want to say it. And we're not quite done with the question yet, because we have this other half. Or, out. We can go ahead and assume from Quai that from this parallel construction that will just be the same. What, neuter. What desideros. So that's desiderare minus the re plus an s, right? So this is just present active second person singular, you. So yep, up and then there's top left. So you have now taken over the subject. Or what now, nunc, do you, are you, desire, long for? What studies, what studies is we're referring to by what? You know, what studies do you now desire? And that's it for chapter 18.